Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, today we are diving into a really cool idea from a new book. It basically asks, what if fate, luck, and everything we think of as destiny isn't magic at all? What if it's just physics? We're going to explore this whole concept through the eyes of an engineer, and trust me, it's a fascinating ride.
So the author, Chen, who's actually a civil engineer, which is key, he starts with this pretty bold question. He's basically saying, hey, maybe we should stop blaming the gods for everything. He's challenging this whole idea that there's some being up there micromanaging our lives. Instead, he suggests the universe is more like a massive impersonal system. Think less divine plan and more cosmic big data.
So he really sets up this battle between two completely different ways of looking at the world. On one hand, you've got all the old school superstitions, right? Making offerings, trying to keep spirits happy, that whole deal. But on the other hand, you've got cold, hard science, wave mechanics, field theory. His whole point is that what we call a curse or good luck isn't some divine judgment, it's a real physical event that we've just been, getting wrong for thousands of years.
And this is where it gets really interesting. The book's core idea is this: what if all that ancient fortune-telling stuff isn't just magic? What if it's actually early science? Like a really, really old research paper on how energy fields in our environment work. The catch is, it's written in a symbolic language that, we've totally forgotten how to decode.
All right, so let's get into the main idea here. To really wrap your head around this, you kind of have to shift to how you see the universe. It's not just a bunch of separate things floating around in space. It's more like a giant invisible web connecting everything.
I love this analogy he uses. Think about it. You can't see the Wi-Fi signal or the cell signal that makes your phone work, but you completely trust that it's there, right? So why is it so crazy to think that massive planets with their enormous energy fields are also broadcasting information that influences us? The book's argument is that we're literally swimming in a cosmic ocean of these energy waves all the time.
Okay, so this is a really big shift in thinking. The old way, the Newtonian way, saw the universe as a machine of pushes and pulls. Gravity pulling an apple down. Simple. But the new, modern view, the quantum view, is all about resonating. It's not about force, it's about frequency. The important things aren't just how big something is or how far away it is, but what its vibration is, what its frequency is.
And that leads to this amazing idea. We're not just rocks being pulled around by gravity. We're more like tuning forks. It's not about how hard a planet is pulling on you, it's about whether its vibration matches yours. If the frequencies are in sync, you resonate, you're affected. It's the exact same principle as tuning a radio to a specific station. Okay, so now that we have this idea of resonance, let's go back and look at some of those ancient symbols again. The book makes a wild claim. They're not just mystical decorations. They're actually super efficient scientific charts, like the universe's original software, just waiting to be decoded.
All right, everybody knows this symbol, right? The taiji, the yin-yang. We think of balance, philosophy, martial arts movies. But what if that's all a misunderstanding? What if this symbol has nothing to do with mysticism and everything to do with hard science, specifically astronomy?
Yeah, seriously, the author says forget the pop culture stuff. He wants us to look at this thing like an engineer would. It's not about good versus evil or light versus dark. He says it's something way more practical. It's a chart, a piece of data visualization. And here's the big reveal. That famous symbol? It's a scientific chart of sunlight. It's an astronomical map called the analemma, which tracks how the amount of daylight changes throughout the entire year. That beautiful S-curve isn't just some abstract art. It's a literal data plot, all because the Earth is tilted on its axis. How cool is that?
And if you look closer, it's perfect. The middle line, where black and white are equal, those are the equinoxes, when day and night are the same length. The point where the white is biggest, that's the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. And where the black is biggest, winter solstice, the shortest day. It's an absolutely flawless map of the solar year, and it doesn't need a single word of text.
And it's not just the taiji symbol. The book does the same thing with other ancient systems, like Ba Zi. You might know it as Chinese astrology's 8 characters. And again, the message is, forget what you think you know about a fixed, predetermined fate. There's a much better way to think about it.
So what is a Ba Zi chart then? It's not a storybook of your life. It's more like an energy snapshot. It's a freeze frame of the entire solar system's energy field at the exact moment you were born. Think of it as your factory settings, the initial energy frequencies you came into the world with. And that's what a fortune teller is really reading.
Okay, get ready for a real mind-blowing moment here. Because once you start translating all these different ancient systems into the language of physics, you discover something absolutely incredible. It turns out Eastern astrology and Western astrology weren't just kind of similar. They were talking about the exact same things. This is basically the Rosetta Stone of destiny. Check this out. What the East calls a clash and the West calls an opposition, they're both just describing a 180-degree angle. They're the same thing. What the East calls a three-harmony and the West calls a trine, that's a 120-degree angle. The names are different, but the math, the physics, the geometry, it's identical. They discovered the same universal laws.
So here's the big takeaway. Good luck and bad luck aren't mystical forces. They're just simple terms for wave interference. Seriously, good luck is when the cosmic energy waves are in sync with your personal energy field. They add up, they support you. Bad luck? That's when they're out of sync. They clash, they cancel each other out, creating resistance. The universe isn't out to get you, it's just physics.
Okay, so what? What do we do with all this? Does this mean we're just puppets of cosmic physics? Absolutely not. In fact, it's the opposite. If destiny is just physics, it means we can work with it. We can become, as the book calls it, destiny engineers. And there's even a practical playbook for this. For example, if your chart shows a 180-degree clash coming up, don't brace for impact. That's the universe giving you a huge push. The right move is to lean into it. Move to a new city, change jobs, start something big. Feeling a 90-degree square? That's friction. Things feel stuck. The answer isn't to push harder. It's to slow down and find the source of the tension. And if you've got a conjunction, a tailwind, man, that's when you go all in. Expand your plans, connect with people, and hit the accelerator.
I love this so much. It's all about a massive mindset shift. We're not just standing on the beach getting slammed by cosmic waves. We can be surfers. You can't stop the waves from coming, obviously, but if you understand the physics of the ocean, you can learn to ride them. That huge, scary wave, that clash, suddenly becomes the perfect opportunity. And that's really the heart of it all. This whole perspective is so empowering because it changes destiny from being this fixed script that you just have to read into a dynamic energy system that you can manage. It's no longer something that just happens to you, it becomes something you actively participate in. So the ultimate question stops being, what is my fate? And starts being, okay, this is the energy I've got to work with, how am I going to manage it?